Having won the Premiership title the previous weekend, Arsene Wenger's Arsenal had the chance to complete a remarkable domestic double against Newcastle United in the 1998 FA Cup final. The last time Arsenal had achieved that feat was in 1971, when Bertie Mee managed a team featuring Charlie George and George Graham. They'd beaten Wolves 1-0 in the semi-final, whilst Newcastle had triumphed over Sheffield United by the same margin. Should Arsenal win, it would cap a momentous moment in the Frenchman's first full season at Highbury.
Arsenal, mean and magnificent under Arsene Wenger's tutelage, are clear favourites as they seek to become only the second team in English history after Manchester United to achieve the double-double. But Newcastle have in manager Kenny Dalglish, a canny figurehead so familiar with this particular scene, and with a certain predatory number 9 prowling that Wembley turf in the Magpies attack. Well, who could confidently say that this year's final is any kind of foregone conclusion? So let's take a check then on the Wembley lineups this afternoon, and how significant, I wonder, will the loss of the injured Dennis Bergkamp be for Arsenal? A sad day for the Dutchman as he misses out on his first Wembley final, but what a moment for Liberian Christopher Wray, chosen as partner for 19-year-old Anelka up front ahead of Ian Wright. Elsewhere, no surprises. Dixon, Adams, Keown and Winterburn at the back. The two Frenchmen, Vieira and Petit, who form such an accomplished combination, patrol the centre of midfield, with Parler and the effervescent Overmars in particular hoping to open up Newcastle along the flanks. Well, now to Newcastle, and with Keith Gillespie ruled out injured, it's pretty much the expected team really that Kenny Dalglish has chosen. Shay Given, the young Irishman, has emerged as first-choice goalkeeper over the season. There's experience at the back, of course, with the veteran Pearce, who was here with Nottingham Forest in the 91 final. He's alongside Howie and the Greek international Dabizas, with Barton and Pistone on the flanks. In midfield, there's the England connection with World Cup hopefuls Batty and the captain Lee. They're joined by Gary Speed, and up front, the Georgian Ketsbaia operates as the main foil for Alan Shearer. The 117th such occasion at Wembley, the 131st if you include replays, and while Arsenal are the clear favourites, rated evens with Newcastle an 11-4 shot, Wembley can be such a great leveller as Newcastle get us underway, defending the goal to our left. Nerves can play such a big part. How often have we heard it said so ruefully in the past? Well, so-and-so simply didn't perform, didn't rise to the occasion. Both looking for a 7th FA Cup final triumph. There's Lee Dixon, who played it away to Nigel Winterburn. We'll take a check on the subs in a moment. John Barnes among them for Newcastle, hoping for his 5th FA Cup final appearance this afternoon. Here's Shearer. Gets Bayer in pursuit. Keown with a back pass. Adams waving teammates forward, but opting instead then for Martin Keown. Defer to Steve Bold, as we thought he would be today. Vieira. He's been the heart and lungs of this Arsenal team. The lovely turn then by Vieira. On goes Parler. Play on, says Paul Durkin. Dixon to Parler again. Good flowing football here from Arsenal. Parler's cross. Anelka over the bar. A glaring missing right in front of goal. And surely that should have been the opener then for Arsenal.
Oh, without a doubt. Superb football by Arsenal, and Parler yet again right in the heart of it. Gets round the outside, and Vieira will never have a better chance of scoring a goal in a cup final. Was he 5 yards out? The keeper's at the near post, open target. He's just got to head it down and just can't manage it. But Parler has started really brightly and is causing the Newcastle back players a lot of problems with his runs from midfield.
He may not get a better chance than that. Nicolas Anelka, the young Frenchman. Defenders have been sucked in. There's no real marking on him, but somehow he contrived to steer it over the bar. Maybe Wembley nerves got the better of it.
Well, it'll now be a test for him now, because obviously, you know, He's not been in the game a lot so far. He's just had a golden opportunity to open his account, has missed it, and now mentally it's how he reacts to that. Will it get him down and affect the rest of his game, or will he now, grit his teeth and say, right, I should have scored there, now I'm actually going to make this game something special for myself.
He's not an out-and-out goal scorer. That was a clear opportunity set up by Ray Parlour for him. Kenny Dalglish, I'm sure, will be very concerned about his team's charitable defending. They'd left him unattended, almost isolated in the middle of Anelka. And Arsenal really should have been in front. Here's Tony Adams, the captain. Ray ahead of him. Good movement again from Arsenal, stabbed on by Petit. Off goes Ray and Anelka. And it was Pearce who came across to curtail that threat. Vieira, Arsenal beginning now to establish a bit of a grip on the game. Winterberg played in for Petit. Vieira. Misplaced pass, a rarity from him. Here's Ketspire back defending, and now David Batty to take it on.
Well, the problem Newcastle have got really is Alan Shearer's being isolated up the front, and the Newcastle players can't get forward to support him, and therefore Arsenal keep gaining possession of the ball and have time to play it around and drag the Newcastle players around to create spaces for themselves.
No foul on Shearer. Away goes Patrick Vieira. Striding forward for Arsenal. Slipped on to Anelka. Parlour. Vieira's in the box. Overmars had arrived as well. It was Warren Barton tracking back with him. But Arsenal now beginning to find their stride. Here's Petit. Hoping to play a part in France's World Cup campaign, but can't be touch and go. The likes of Anelka and Vieira also very much in the reckoning. Here's Overmars, who'll be there for the Dutch team. He's through here and has scored! Mark Overmars for Arsenal! Halfway through the first half, and well, Newcastle were warned. It had been coming.
Well, you give space behind your defence, and with this pace that Arsenal have got, he gets the other side of Pistone, gets his body across him. Pistone can't touch him, and as Shea Given comes out, just tucks it through his legs. But it's a delightful little ball from Petit. But just look at the pace of Overmars. No way Pistone can get near him, and that's the goal that, to be fair, has been coming for a few minutes because Arsenal have taken control of it, and Newcastle have spent the majority of this game in their own half of the field.
Lee, the captain, doing his best to lead by example, but in a threatening position. But who was there covering? Tony Adams. Vieira to Ray. Good tackle then by Babizas. Beautifully timed. Here's Barton. We're in the last minute now of the first 45. Babizas appealing for offside, but no way. Overmars now. He's got Parlour alongside. Rick Parlour! They broke so quickly then on the counter-attack. And Newcastle once again were floundering.
Oh, it's a chance again. There's no way it's offside. There's a one-against-one situation, and you think Overmars might go all the way on his own, but Parlour appears, a lovely ball into him, but Ray Parlour just snatched it, got underneath it, and it flew over the bar. And Ray Parlour puts his head in his hands. He knows that's a good opportunity.
Shearer with Adams again. Ooh, Shearer went in very late then on Adams. Well, he's been in trouble recently, Alan Shearer, for one or two controversial incidents, including his lunge at Neil Lennon in the recent game with Leicester, and now he's been shown the yellow card for his very late tackle on Tony Adams.
Yes, you can't say he is late. I don't think he catches Tony too badly, but it's still a late challenge, and quite rightly goes in the book for it.
Tony Adams was straight back on his feet, back in the fray. No complaint from him. And no complaints from Arsenal as they have a half-time lead thanks to this man, Mark Overmars, scored on 23 minutes. Newcastle will still fill their in with a shout. Not by Shearer, especially when he's out on the field. The most dangerous marksman in the English game. But he has been tightly policed today by those two central defenders, Adams and Keown. Arsene Wenger wondering if he is now going to be the first foreign coach to win the FA Cup here. Woodward, of course, first player manager last season with Chelsea. Wenger the first foreign coach to win the title. Rob Lee. Free kick to Arsenal.
You have to say in this last 5 minutes that Newcastle have picked up the pace a little bit, have taken more of a grip in midfield, but it's that final third of the field they've still yet to create something from. But certainly their midfield performance in the last 5 or 10 minutes has greatly improved.
And they will take encouragement from that, as are the massive Newcastle fans here today, away to my right. It's going to be a blockbuster from Stuart Pearce. It can be absolutely lethal from this range. Pearce lining it up. Arsenal clear their lines, but not for long. It's a promising spell this. Babizas bashing with Adams. Another free kick for Newcastle. Very positive and forceful here, Babizas, until set flying by Tony Adams. Lee looking to conjure something up for Newcastle here. Off the crossbar from Babizas. Arsenal were really stretched on this occasion. Coming round the back to Babizas, and Arsenal rescued by the crossbar.
Well, certainly that's the first time they've exposed Arsenal at the back, and I'm not sure if it had been a little bit lower that David Seaman would have got to it. He had to make ground from the near post to the far, and very, very nearly sneaked in.
Ian Wright has to wait for his chance. Here's Vieira now. Anelka ahead of him. Still Vieira. Oh, if he could have put him away there, it could really have been trouble for Newcastle.
Well, there was a split second then when that move started. Vieira got the ball down at his feet, and there was a simple pass for him to knock Anelka through. If he'd have knocked that pass, Anelka would not have been stopped, and it would have been possibly, you know, as good an opportunity as he'd had in that first one he headed over.
But the game remains in the balance with just a one goal or step by Keown. Off goes Shearer. Great strike. So unlucky, Alan Shearer. He pounced in an instant then. Seaman was beaten. Saved by the upright.
Well, how many times have we seen that? Alan Shearer hasn't really had any service. He's had no chances, and he's been pretty much out of the game. And then out of nothing, he gets the chance on his weaker side, his left foot. But he certainly had David Seaman beaten, and he had the unlucky sight of it hitting the post and coming back to him. But I would be fair and say David Seaman's angles were excellent and didn't give certainly Alan Shearer as much space as he would like to hit.
He's barely had a sniff of goal all afternoon, Alan Shearer. But suddenly he was in the clear after a mistake there by Keown, who seemed to tread on the ball. Lightning pace from Shearer.
As he hits it here, there's very little for him to aim at. And you can see with David Seaman stretching to his left-hand side, that certainly had to be, from there it just goes past his left hand, and it was always going to hit the post once it had gone past there.
But real hope now for Newcastle that this final is not yet lost. Adams. Shearer. Broken up by Patrick Vieira. Then Keown to Dixon. Ray Parlour. Played on for Anelka. Parlour has continued his run. But a futile journey in the end. But there's a new zest about Newcastle. But now they're on the back foot again with Winterburn going forward for Arsenal. They've got two in the middle. Oh, Platt and Anelka both drifted into the box.
It's a good break again here, and there's a couple of balls he could have played once he gets round the outside, but maybe looks at Shea giving off his line, thinking he isn't the biggest goalkeeper in the world. There must be some space behind him I can drop that ball into. But unfortunately, just got too much on it, and it was a harmless ball over the bar in the end.
Ketspire to Lee. Overmars. Well played, Robert Lee. Well, he stuck to his task there, Lee, as Overmars threatened to stride away. Shearer's shot against the post that so nearly brought Newcastle back on level terms. Adams. Overmars. A little careless with his distribution. The Bizas coolly away. Now David Batty in that Newcastle engine room. He's found Shearer. Speed with quick feet. Now Lee. Again, Arsenal back on the defensive. Diaz, but can Newcastle penetrate? Keown with a firm header away. Only as far as the Bizas. Poor selection there by Winterburn. He had a chance to redeem himself. He has kicked it, I think, into touch. Kept in by the Bizas. Pistone. A little more confidence about Newcastle now. But can they find a way through again? Vieira. This is Ray Parlour. Anelka onside. Anelka's away. Good strike. No mistake this time. He spurned a golden opportunity in the first half, but has now tucked this one away with great aplomb.
Well, what did we say about certainly being careful about playing square? And look how square Newcastle were. And once Anelka's the other side of Steve Howie there is no way anybody's going to catch him. And it's a superb strike, with Shea given no chance whatsoever. It really was a marvellous strike into that far corner. But Newcastle have played that game right the way from kick-off, and we said early on, if you continue to do it, you will get caught out. And that's exactly what's happened.
He's 19 years old, and he is going to be a world superstar. He has played at Wembley before, Alan Shearer, yet to finish on the winning side. This is his first major final, remember. Anelka shaking off Pistone. Still Anelka. That's Parlour.
Well, he shakes his head again. He's had 3 good opportunities now. He covers the ground, Ray Parlour. He must have made up 40 yards there. And to be fair, Anelka does well, holds it up, waits for support. But Parlour, when he gets size of that goal, he just gets a little bit excited, and therefore the ball goes over.
Vieira. Arsenal still dictating. John Barnes may be coming on for Newcastle. Here's Keown. He and Adams have kept such a tight rein for the most part on Shearer. As I was saying earlier on, Shearer played here in the old ZDS trophy for Southampton, and he's played here in the Charity Shield. Petit. And up comes Gibbon to deny Mark Overmars. Ketspire will make way for John Barnes. We think that's yet to be confirmed. Watson, speed with the flick, but Anderson couldn't latch onto it. Adams, Vieira, dispossessed though by Ketspire. Now it's David Batty. Lee spinning away from Platt, who left his leg trailing. Pistone. That was Kia Tenor. Ketspire. Now Shearer. What a tackle from Winterburn. No offside. The flag stayed down.
Well, that was a magnificent tackle. It really was. It all opened up for Alan Shearer. Although when the ball's played, he's offside. The linesman didn't give it, but Winterburn got back there from nowhere. I mean, when that ball drops to Shearer, it's a goal. But that's a magnificent tackle.
Wenger's team on the verge of the double, and inevitably Ray comparisons with 71. You were around, of course, for the final then with Liverpool.
Yes, I think this is a different side. You know, Arsenal in 71 was very strong defensively, as this side is.
And Nelka.
But apart from that, they're a more direct side in 71. They had Radford and Kennedy up the front, who were excellent strikers, but different. You know, the strikers they've got here, and Anelka and Ray.
And Parler going through now. What a match he's had, Ray Parler.
Well, he's not on the score sheet, but he's done everything else in this game. That's a certainty. He's made something for himself out of absolutely nothing there, and just hits the upright after breaking through. But I would think he's got to be a contender for man of the match.
Shearer. Still Newcastle pressing, still hoping for some kind of consolation now. At least they've given it a real go in the second half. But it's a league and cup double for Arsenal, for the class of 71. Read now, the heroes of 98, Overmars with a goal that sent them on their way. Winterburn with that vital challenge played on Alan Shearer. Only the second club in the history of the English game to complete the double-double. Arsenal have now emulated Manchester United's successes from 94 and 96. And Arsene Wenger has written his name into the record books in the most astounding fashion. So Tony Adams leads the Arsenal team to the FA Cup. He becomes the first Arsenal captain to hold the trophy aloft on 2 separate occasions. And really, in the history of this famous competition, can there have been a more inspirational figure with his hands on the trophy? The cup belongs to Arsenal.
Newcastle United made the trip to Wembley for the final again the following season, but a Manchester United side gunning for a momentous treble beat them 2-0. Arsene Wenger went on to lead Arsenal to a third double in the 2001-2002 season.